Welcome to a new tutorial. Katrina here, and I'm super excited to share these heart dangle earrings with you. I love a good dangle earring, and these are super cute. If you changed the bead or the stone to a pink or red color, these earrings would be perfect for any Valentine's Day outfit. Starting off our materials, we are going to be creating the hearts with a 20 gauge solid brass wire. Next we have a file as well as a ruler. And then we have a ring mandrel. I chose a size 2, and this is going to give me a heart that is a little bit over an inch wide. Then we have a bead for each earring in the size, shape, and color of your choice. For our pliers, we are going to be using some needle nose pliers, our wire cutters, and a pair of nylon jaw pliers. Now that we have everything we need to create these earrings, let's get into the video. To begin creating our earrings, we're going to grab our 20 gauge wire and the nylon jaw pliers and straighten out a length of wire. Then using our ruler, we're going to measure out 4 inches of the wire and cut it off to that measurement. Using our wire cutters, we will cut off the wire at 4 inches. We're going to go ahead and cut our second piece of wire to 4 inches so that we have 2 pieces of wire ready to go to create our heart shapes. Grabbing our file, we are going to smooth down both ends of each piece of wire. Check the wire with your fingers to make sure that there are no rough edges. Now let's get into creating the hearts. We're going to place our wire onto the ring mandrel, leaving a tail sticking out over the end. This tail should be about 1/3 of the entire length of wire. Now using our needle nose pliers, we are going to create a loop in the middle of the wire here. This is going to be the center of the heart shape. Bending the wire up and around as you see in the video to create this loop at the center of the heart. Now that we have created this little loop in the wire, we are going to bend the wire around the ring mandrel again to shape the other half of the heart. Now that we have created the heart shape, we are going to add our bead and slide it onto the wire that is longer. We want one end of the wire to be longer than the other so that we can then wrap it around the opposite end. Press the ends of wire towards each other, shaping the heart so that the longer end overlaps the shorter end. Leaving a little tail, maybe 1/4 of an inch long, we're going to use our needle nose pliers and bend the wire over, capturing the short end of wire inside of this bend. We are then going to wrap that short piece of wire around to finish and secure the heart. Bending the wire around and then grabbing our nylon jaw pliers, we are going to secure this wrapping onto the wire. Make sure that the very end of wire is pressed down and secured against the other wire. With the heart secured in place, we can now adjust it with our fingers until it is the shape that we like. Having finished our first heart, we can now go in and create the second heart in the same manner. Using the first heart that we created as a pattern for the second heart so that we make sure we get our pieces the same size. Creating that loop in the center of the heart, and then shaping the other end of wire on our ring mandrel, and then we can add our bead onto the heart design. Adjusting the shape of the heart so that one end of the wire is longer than the other, we can then use our needle nose pliers to create a wrapping that secures the heart together. Wrapping the wire around the opposite end, we want to secure it together, and we will use our nylon jaw pliers to help us do that. Now we have created both of the heart dangles. Next, we need to create some jump rings and the French hooks for our earrings. Placing the very end of the wire into the pliers, we're going to wrap it all the way around to create a circle. Wrapping the wire all the way around so that the end overlaps, we are then going to use our wire cutters and clip off the wire right there next to the end. Then we need to go ahead and create a second jump ring for our second earring. After creating our second jump ring, we can now create our earring hooks. Leaving a very small tail out the end of the wire, we're going to bend it slightly over to create a little kink in the wire. Now we need to place the wire into the very base of the pliers and bend it over to create the hook of the earring. Then we are going to bend the wire over so that we can bend it back in the opposite direction to create a loop that is directly centered under the hook of the earring. Once we have created this loop, we are then going to take the long end of wire and wrap it around the top of the loop, where we will then clip it off with our wire cutters and secure it with either our chain nose or nylon jaw pliers. After creating the earrings, we want to make sure all the ends of wire are very smooth. Because I didn't think of this as I was shaping the loop, I'm going to have to place the loop back into my chain nose pliers and twist the whole earring so that the orientation of the loop is to the front of the hook. Now we're going to use our chain nose pliers to help us open up the jump ring. We're going to first add our heart and then our earring onto the jump ring, and then it's useful to use a second pair of pliers to close the jump ring and make sure that it is secure. After we have assembled the first earring, we can go in and open our second jump ring so that we can assemble our second earring, adding our heart first and then adding our earring. After making sure that we have closed the jump ring correctly and securely, we have now finished assembling our second earring. And with that, we have completed our set of heart dangle earrings. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed creating these heart dangle earrings with me. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and then go check out my channel page, subscribe, and hit the little bell button so that you're notified every time I bring out a new tutorial. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.